You are watching The Book Club. Every Wednesday, we handpick the best books to improve your life. 15 books Mark Zuckerberg thinks everyone should read. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome to a new original video here at Alux. We hope you're doing great and keep on improving yourself with every passing day. You may not think that someone as busy as Mark Zuckerberg would have time to read, but you'd be wrong. He reads a book every 2 weeks, so that would be 26 books per year, give or take a few. That's a lot, especially for someone who shoulders the responsibility of giving a great user experience to about 2 billion people. With all the bumps in the road, the scandals and negative media that Zuckerberg has had to deal with in the last few years, it's pretty impressive he has time to catch up on some reading, so we are happy to give you the 15 books Mark Zuckerberg thinks everyone should read. Number 1. Why Nations Fail by Darren Acemoglu and James A. Robinson. This is one of those very few books that will change the way of how you view and understand the world. It focuses on why poverty exists and how to reduce it. The authors have analyzed all the factors that contribute to making a nation either rich or stricken by poverty. This savvy and engaging book will show you how political and economical institutions contribute to the success or collapse of a nation. Although the book is quite expensive at $34, if you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get the audiobook version for free. You can use that URL to get any of the books we mention on this list, thanks to our partnership with Audible. Number 2. The Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley. In this book, the author dives deep into economics and biology to prove his theory to the reader that life on Earth is getting better and better. Matt argues that even if people think we'll have a dystopian future, we should take a look at humanity's steady progress over the millennia. His insights shape the message that we all should embrace a more optimistic view of the world. If Hollywood has skewed your view of the future with movies like The Terminator, I Am Legend, and Hunger Games, then this book is definitely for you. Number 3. World Order by Henry Kissinger. This book dives deep into the roots of international harmony and global disorder. After a thorough analysis, Henry Kissinger comes to the conclusion that there has never been a true world order in history. If you want to know what it takes to truly have a shared international order in a world of divergent historical perspectives, then you should think of giving this book a try. Number 4. Portfolios of the Poor by Daryl Collins, Jonathan Mordach, Stuart Rutherford, and Orlando Ruthven. All of the authors of this book conducted year-long interviews with impoverished people from developing nations to understand how they make their daily living. This book systematically explains how poor households employ the financial tools at their disposal to find solutions to their everyday financial needs. Anyone who's keen on knowing more about poverty and what can be done about it should give Portfolios of the Poor a shot. Number 5. Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull. This is one of those reads that should be on every entrepreneur's shelf, and anyone who's in the business of creative arts. Ed Catmull writes this book as more of a guide for anyone who wants to encourage and nurture a problem-solving creative environment. If you have a team you wish to succeed and rise to new heights, this was intended for you. This book takes an in-depth approach into creating a successful organization, from establishing the core values to choosing the right people and tackling everyday obstacles. All aspects of a prosperous business are covered in this book. Number 6. The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Next, we have a book that mainly focuses on race-related issues and mass incarceration in the U.S. Legal segregation and discrimination is a thing of the past century. However, the author noted that the racial bias and prejudice that Black Americans face on a daily basis is prevalent among other minorities and socioeconomically disadvantaged populations as well. If you want to further understand why the racial tension hasn't ended in American society, but was simply redesigned, then this book is highly recommended. Number 7. Dealing with China by Henry M. Paulson Jr. Now, this is not a book on how the U.S. is preparing to go to trade war with China, so don't get too excited just yet. The author takes you behind the closed doors to understand the creation and evolution of China's state-controlled capitalism. China has done more to lift people out of poverty than the entire world combined. As the CEO of Goldman Sachs, Henry Paulson helped many Chinese firms to sell stock for their first time. These IPOs uncovered a peculiar structure, where these organizations acted more like city-states than your typical company. Number 8. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This is one of those books that will take you way back to the beginning of human civilization and explains in detail pretty much everything, starting with how Homo sapiens became the dominant species that inhabits the Earth. How did we go from foraging for food and sleeping in caves to being enslaved by bureaucracy and consumerism? All of these well-written aspects are laid out in just a few hundred pages. This book has become incredibly popular in the last few years, and especially among billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. If you'd like to keep up with these guys, then definitely head out and get your hands on this book. But if you think $32 is a little expensive for your taste, then go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up. You can get the audiobook version for free, thanks to our partnership with Audible. Number 9. The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch. The author of this New York Times bestseller argues that explanations have a fundamental role in the universe and how bettering them will lead to progress. This book takes you on an extensive journey on the complexities of life, from all fields of science to the history of mankind, to track how people came up with explanations, which led to successful human endeavors. The Beginning of Infinity is not really a book for everybody, but if you want to explore the deep connections between the laws of nature, the human condition, and the possibility of progress, then you have to add this book to your reading list. Number 10. The Idea Factory by John Gertner. Mark Zuckerberg really loves his scientific books, but unlike the others which cover the complexities of life, this one is a bit more straightforward. The Idea Factory goes back to the origins of some of the most important inventions and delivers exciting works of an untold chapter of American history. The story centers around the life and work of a few brilliant, eccentric men who spent their careers at Bell Labs. The book offers the reader in a way to enrich your understanding of the challenges and solutions to technological innovations. It's also recommended by Mark, so what better reason do you need to pick up this book? Oh, and Aluxers, if you'd like to find out some more about Mark Zuckerberg, click or tap in the top right corner to watch our dedicated video. Number 11. The Player of Games by Ian M. Banks. We now have a book that will make pretty much every nerd out there happy. It has aliens, games, AI, and a badass protagonist. The book tells of a futuristic utopian society centered around games. Ian Banks tells the story of Gurga, who's kind of bored with his innate talent to be the best at everything he tries, and goes to a cruel and incredibly wealthy empire to play their high-stakes game, where the winner gets to rule the entire society. Number 12. The Muqaddimah by Ibn Khaldun. This 14th century book is considered to be one of the very first writings that explores sociology, demography, and cultural history. The Muqaddimah creates a synergy among diverse collective ways of thinking and explains what is happening on every level. If you're a history enthusiast or eager to study the process of evolution from a different perspective, then you will definitely enjoy this book. Number 13. The End of Power by Moises Naim. This book was written on original and provocative research on power in every field of human endeavor. Naim illustrates the fact that, today, power is not what it used to be. The struggle between once dominant players and new micropowers is shifting, calling it the decay of power. This opens up new and exciting opportunities, but it can also lead to chaos and paralysis. This is a fantastic read for anyone who's looking to see how this new global shift will change the world. Number 14. On Immunity by Eula Biss. This is more like a collection of essays than a book, which allows the author to bring an interesting perspective to a subject that's usually considered to be boring or dull. It explores pretty much every possible angle on vaccines, from the history of vaccines to myths regarding our perception of immunity and its implications for the individual and society. It even brings into the spotlight of people that are against vaccines and empathizes with them. Number 15. The Three-Body Problem by Liu Cixin. Okay, now this is a title that catches your eye coming straight from China's most beloved science fiction writer. This novel is quite intricate, but if you enjoy complex topics seamlessly integrated into a futuristic story with aliens, space, and military operations, why not give this book a shot? By the way, if you are interested in Cixin's book, you should know that this is the second part of a trilogy. And here we are, Aluxers, at the end of our video. We hope you enjoyed it and found some of Mark's recommendations interesting enough to add them to your own reading list. Now, before you go, please tell us, which book caught your eye the most? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, you get something a little extra. Number 16. The Accidental Billionaires, The Founding of Facebook, A Tale of Sex, Money, Genius, and Betrayal by Ben Mezrich. The book is structured similarly to a novel instead of a nonfiction biography, which can fracture the narrative. The story follows the journey of Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin, who started out as best friends and ended up as enemies because of conflicting ideas of which direction Facebook should take. Soon, it all became an all-out warfare in which everybody fell prey to the world of big money and lawyers. And don't forget, you have links to every single one of these books in our description. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.